So to advance the slides, move the slides forward. No, moving that. Okay.
All right. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Phillip Miller. I am the U.S. Business Development with Hefring Marine. Hefring Marine is a Icelandic marine software company. So, Hefring Marine was founded our founders were doing a study on hull vibrations. They were with a boat builder and they were making a new style boat. And they put sensors and a computer on the boat just to kind of get what information they can get off a hull. Right around the time that they were doing this research was right after COVID, right before COVID. Tourism in Iceland spiked. Everyone from the US, everyone from around the world was going to Iceland for whale watching. What was happening, like we see here, there were incidents with tourists breaking their backs on these rib boats. We did a study this summer with some interns, and we're all voters in here. I was in the Coast Guard for 21 years. 96% of the accidents are due to human error. I think before the gentleman before said the same thing. 70% of military boat operators are injured. So we're taught to just keep doing our job. Like we never want to sit out. 60% of fishermen suffer injuries and they keep going and keep moving. And up to 20% of fuel is used excessively. This is a problem with more than the fuel, yes, money, but more than anything, the bodily injuries. This is a short video on how our system works, and I can get into more later. This is the IP67 box that we use. This is our sensor with gyroscope, 2 gyroscopes, and a accelerometer. So we're taking the engine data, GPS, weather, equipment status on board, and whatever connections we have hooked up. And we're getting a solution to help our route for fuel efficiency, safety in terms of hitting swells at a certain speed. So our system adapts to the operator. I'll go into that also. And what it's doing is giving a quicker, safer, more efficient route based on all the data coming in.
Where are you getting your data from to track that sea condition or that? Are you getting it from the satellite? You getting it from the
It's satellite data, it's NOAA, tides and currents, buoy data, all that's coming into our system. And the system's giving a solution based on that. With the AI is giving a solution.
Thank
you. Yes, sir. So this is our motto: empowering data-driven operations, decision point, and actual insights, enhance safety, efficiency, and sustainability. If you have a question, just speak up. I'm hard of hearing. I was spent a lot of time on Coast Guard cutters. This is our system here in a nutshell. It's like I said earlier, it's AI decision support. What you're seeing here is our display, and we plug into Simrad, we plug into all the major Garmin, all the major guys. So what's going on here is the actual speed is 38. The system's telling them, the operator, the safe speed is 33. So this ring will go red, alerting the driver that you're going above the safe speed. This is the fuel quality. Also, it's like I said, with fuel efficiency. If you're going above the eco speed, this right here, the quality would drop. So all this is being recorded, and it's giving you a score per vessel, score per captain. This is our system right here, the IP67, and this is the sensor. This is our 3D model, which I'm gonna get into a case later. This is actual motions during the trip. You can see it live, or you can see it in a historical data that is kept in the cloud. All information is kept in the cloud. So that's the actual motions of a vessel. So through our research, we've seen 20% of operators or companies, agencies that use our system has lowered their fuel use. In countries that they track emissions, it has dropped 20%. The recorded impacts, which anything over 3G, you can toggle between 3G. Some people use 4G as discomfort. 40% by following our solution, those numbers have gone down. And 20% on savings on insurance. I know that was mentioned earlier, but we have insurance companies in Iceland that if you have our system on board, they lowered your premium because it basically, you don't have to run to find the information. It's all information stored in the cloud. You hit a button and you can download the whole trip. You can download the whole historical data of a vessel or an operator / captain. So these are some of the companies we're working with. We're working with the Stiletto, the Navy R&D ship, RNS in Norway, Safe Boats. We just signed an agreement with, as an add-on to their system, Diverse Marine. It's a marine, a transfer company out of the UK, Icelandic ambulance service. And we just signed a big tender with the Italian Coast Guard. Every vessel going forward has to have will have our system in the Italian Coast Guard. Right now, we have over 200,000 nautical miles captured. We just surpassed that at 20,000 trips. So our data, we have tons of data. We're always, I think, we update our system every 2 weeks. If one of our operators have a solution that we can do something better, we're open, we take it, and we make it better. And Prince Edward Island, how could I forget them? We're doing research with them where we're gonna equip the whole port with our system. Again, these are some of our partners. Like I mentioned, Safe Boat, we got the insurance. These are some of the partnerships we've grown over the few years we've been in existence. Again, quickly, I'm going to go over this. This is the optimal speed, like I was mentioned earlier on the display. It's showing green because the operator is maintaining what the system tells them. So we often think going slower might be better. We're looking for a smoother ride. So we had a case in Iceland where we did research with a fisherman. This particular fishing vessel has been doing the same route for 30 years. Same captain, same route. So we went out, and the reason why we picked him because they go out light, they come in heavy. So he went out light, he did everything the way he did for years, 30 years. As he was coming in, same speed, same route, our system told him to go faster. And he questioned it because he's been doing the same thing for years. He actually did go faster, and he actually saved more fuel going at a faster rate. Inside the console, we have analytics and reports, which I'm going to bring in a case study about how important those are, and monitoring alerts. So we get on board, the operator is seeing the alert. So if it's a geofence, it's he's going too fast in a certain area, fleet management will get, alert, so will the guys on board. This route selection's in beta mode in the US. It's actually, the AI is giving you the best route and speed. It's not an autopilot, it's telling you to go this route. Right now in the US, that's beta, but we're using it in other parts of the world.
Can it interface with autopilots? Or
We
no?
haven't gotten there yet. We're working with a ton of autonomy, research projects. So in terms of autopilot, we'll be there soon. Good question. Again, this is our system. This is the IMAS helm. We're coming out with a smaller system. We're seeing it was a demand with, not only the agencies, but multiple fleets. But like a local fisherman in Canada who might have a lobster boat, who wants the data, who wants to improve the life cycle of his vessel. So we came out with the IMAS Lite. Smaller, compact, price is down. It's still saving in the cloud, but a little watered down from like the Italian Coast Guard is using. And it's easy to set up. We're starting to see now is boat builders are coming to us for our system, not just for an add-on, but to help them build the parameters within the vessels that they didn't have the information before. Not saying they were guessing, but they just didn't have the accurate information. So if you're buying a boat from Safe Boat, they would take you out with the system on. You can see how it works. You can see how the boat works. You can see the engines, engine status, the parameters, how it works in certain the weather, sea states, everything above. Again, this is what we don't want to see. Systems are red. He's going 35 knots. Safety speed is 30. They hit a 4.2 G impact, which is very uncomfortable. For all the years that we've been going out, nobody's really recorded them. Now that they have different things on the market and they're recording them, we're starting to see that the everyday vibration and just small impacts are really measuring up, and it's unsustainable at some point in the story. And I mentioned already the operator performance score. So the more the operator's following the solution, the higher his score would be. We gamified it so operators would use it. This is similar to what I was talking to earlier. This is actually just a new display. Less information, more pertinent information here. Same thing, he's just recommending the speed of knots, so we're not going over anything. So this is our console. What you will see from more of a command point of view, this isn't what they see on the vessel. So this is a live trip, and you're kind of just seeing what your boats are doing while they're underway, up to the very second. You can see the speed over ground, safety speed, if they've sustained any impacts. We talked about fatigue earlier. This is giving us, we could give a real sense of fatigue by exposure to vibrations, impacts, more than just time. You know, in the Coast Guard, we had a fatigue standard, I believe it was 8 to 10 hours. But within that 8 to 10 hours, everyone's gonna fatigue differently, and there was no elements that was kept with that. This is the gamified, what I was saying, each operator go a different level up into legend. We have novice up into legend. All of our data is downloadable. We can, you can give us a scenario. I know earlier we mentioned how individual had to do the math to get the speed. You can take the information, the vessel size, vessel state, and give us all that information, and we'll give you, the speed, and we can recreate any scenario. So we had a situation, this is the case study, well, it's actual situation in Iceland. We had an Icelandic rescue rescue vessel, sorry. It was operated in an area that they tend to operate in. It was a new operator, fairly new, operating at night. If you're familiar with Iceland, certain times of year, it's always dark. It just happened. So the operator they were just going out on a patrol, and you can see right here, everything was normal. He wasn't hitting any high impacts. Green shows very light. Yellow is in between, nothing heavy. But all of a sudden, we have a 7-point G impact. So we got to figure out what happened. So right away, the brass from the Icelandic Rescue Service the next morning walked over to our office, which is on the same pier, and they wanted reports. They wanted 15 to 20 pages of reports of what happened. They questioned whether our system could tell them the story of this whole event. So we gave them everything we had. What we found out, and that's the actual motions that the boat took. So we hit a wave into a trough, dropped 2 feet, and turned. So the initial report from the captain, which is the operator, we just say captain, he said he was going 9 knots. He was actually going 23 knots. The safety speed, the system was telling him to go 13. Does anyone have any questions? All right. This is another report that we gave from that incident. See, everything's going normal, and all of a sudden, huge impact. So a couple of things went wrong. One, they weren't utilizing the system like we had. The area that he was speeding in should have had a geo fence around it, alerting him not to go over certain knots. One, because it was dark. 2, he was a new driver, so he didn't utilize that feature. The senior operator wasn't paying attention, but he knew that particular area had, his speed should have been right around 15 knots or under. So what ended up happening to the vessel after it took the slam that it did, it was structural damage. This was the first vessel that was delivered. The Icelandic Rescue Service had 13 more vessels to come. So they had to take the only vessel out of service, and they were really scratching their head what happened. They didn't know if it was the operator's fault or if it was, I don't know, they didn't know whose fault it was. So when we looked into it, engine mounts, welding, the engine room was destroyed. They went back to the boat builder with this information that we gave them. And basically, it was built poorly. The insurance company got involved. The insurance company thanked us tremendously for giving this report to them. But the other 12 boats that would be coming out of the yard, they had to redesign them. Particularly, I don't know how they had to redesign them. I just know that they were being redesigned. Again, this is our system since the Icelandic Coast Guard has had it. 40% impact reductions, 5% speed reductions. This is another case we had. We're testing the Viking North Safe is being tested to see how far they can go out and come back without refueling using our AI solution. So it was a 5-hour, 17-minute trip out, and they and they weren't, it just wasn't all flat, if you can see, and you can see by the, motions of the vessel, you can see yellow, it's not much green here, so they really put the, boat, they really was hitting some good chop. But they followed the speed recommended by our system, and let's see if they made it. Yes, they were able to go to long distance, 142.4 nautical miles, and still had some fuel left over. This is some, this is just showing the eco speed, that they would follow. This is the report coming from that, trip where they used 73 out of 79 gallons, saving 10% of what they would have. This is the last bit. This is basically showing the Norwegian rescue have to send a CO2 and an NOx report monthly. They did some sort of formula beforehand on how to get that information, and they had to chase down different operators and different people. So we ran into them. We said, give our system a try. We give them this report. The admin person, I don't know if she's playing solitaire now, but she's her job's fairly easy now. Again, our system is focused on safety, efficiency, fuel efficient, and extension of life cycle, AI, data-driven support. I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
On that, on the one case study that you did there for the fuel economy, what was their ride like? You have statistics on how smooth the ride was with,
They were going more, like I was telling you, you can toggle between, and that's a good question, fuel and safety. They were going out that day more to see the fuel efficiency. They weren't going for the ride. We had a case where the same agency was going for a heavy ride. And this is when we were using our AI support. Like I said, it's beta in the US, but we use it in other parts of the world where the AI system used to optimize the fuel and the ride was safe.
Right.
So in that particular case, they were just looking for fuel.
This is a really cool system. I have two questions.
Yep.
One, have you seen the application mainly in the commercial divisions? Or do you see, or have you seen much in the recreational side of it?
Yes, we have actually, we signed, I can't pronounce it, I think it's Akka. If you go online and search our company, we just signed with a yacht company. One of our customers has a 36 catamaran. He bought one. He loves it. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay. Silent Yachts, we have a customer who's buying a Silent Yacht. That's the name of the company. And they bought one. So it's starting to inch. The more we go out and say what we're doing, the recreational leisure side is like, we want this. And that's kind of how we had to go to the life system.
Also, too, have you guys demonstrated how this system works at all with like maybe a Seakeeper system or a Seakeeper ride system? Is there any inputs that those exterior forces would have on this unit?
In the beginning, I believe, I wasn't there. I've heard that they did. The results of it, you can follow with me and I can get those for you.
But you know, Frank, with the Seakeeper, you know, a lot of times Seakeepers are mostly used when you're at slow at a lower RPM.
Mhm.
When you're underway, which I think this information is getting you changing your heading just 10 degrees instead of going head to in it. And slow, you're pulling back, you know, off to the angle a little bit and you make the loop, you know, like a little bit of a circle. Where the Seakeeper underway at 20 to 25 knots is not very effective at all. So,
But I can get you the results. I know it happened. Like I said, I wasn't there when it happened.
Thank you.
No problem.
I did have a question.
Yes, sir.
So with this crazy ass speed limit that NOAA and the federal government's trying to put on our, is this gonna be tied into an AIS, not AI, but AIS, where it can be tracked through NOAA, or can this be?
We're in talks with people with different agencies. We've been approached by, some, states agencies about, monitoring restricted areas with speed. It's in the talks. It's there, it's here. It could do the job. It could do the job. So we've been in talks.
The reason why I ask is that's becoming a very political battle.
Totally.
If you were in the Coast Guard, you'd have to enforce it like the ticket.
Totally.
And now whoever is NOAA sends out tickets every day as if it's like writing a parking ticket to these guys up and down the world, up in the ocean.
Thanks.
Got a question online from Harold.
Okay.
Approximate pricing of the system.
The IMAS, the one I have in front of me with a year of license is right under $10,000. The light, we haven't come out with a price point yet. So, the light will be more, like I said, small fishing fleet, maybe 1 to 2 vessels in your fleet, where this is multiple.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Anybody else online?
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Chocolates. Small. So you do the same.
James. Who's the guy at the back? Oh, okay.
I heard it, I saw them, and I heard it. Earlier, 60% good. But they're very expensive.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ships.